Now I'm going to say something that you are not expecting me to say. I support reducing the top rate of income tax. And I think that what the Tories have done in announcing that they're going to reduce it and then U-turning on that is actually a spectacular piece of theatrical smoke and mirrors intended to distract us all from what they're really up to. And at the heart of it is the myth of scarcity. They're telling us that they're going to give a little bit of extra money to the middle classes, knowing that working class people who are struggling to survive right now will react against that. And they're trying to stir up a conflict between those two groups of people, which distracts us from the fact that the people who actually are failing to contribute to our society, and indeed who are siphoning money out of our society and squirreling it away from those who have every right to access to resources, are the billionaires, the oligarchs, the mega corporations. All that money, we think a third of the world's money, sits offshore in tax havens. The reality is that we live in a well-developed, wealthy country. There is absolutely enough for everyone in our country to not only survive, but actually to thrive and have a comfortable life. And in actual fact, we live on a very well-resourced planet, and there is enough on our planet for everyone to eat well, to have accommodation, to have healthcare, to have education, and to have some luxuries from time to time in their life. And what they've done with this ridiculous thing is they've created a situation in which the working class are struggling, and they're seeing the middle class being given a little bit extra, and of course they're kicking back against that because they rightly feel like if there is a little bit to spare, then they're the ones who most urgently need it, and they're so right to feel that way. But here's the myth: there isn't a little bit to spare. There is plenty to spare. There is absolutely enough for everybody in our society to have their needs met and to have some space in their lives for some luxury and some space, and not to have to work, you know, all the hours around the clock, and not to have to work multiple shifts and multiple jobs, and not to be on the breadline, not to be queuing up outside food banks. There is plenty there. And actually, a lot of these middle class people work very hard. A lot of them have really responsible jobs, and they're also being struck by the cost of living crisis. They're also having their savings eroded that they might have built up over a long time. They might do jobs like being a doctor in your local hospital, and do you know what? I want my doctor in my hospital to actually have a comfortable standard of living, and I want that to be a great job that people aspire to, so that the very best people in our society will fight to go and get that job, because I want my doctor to be someone who's absolutely brilliant and smart and wonderful and hardworking and caring, and I think they deserve the rewards that historically have come with that, but have been eroded and eroded and eroded. We do not need to be scrabbling to take a little bit of money away from middle class people in order to feed and clothe and educate the poorest in our society. We can do that by taking money from the oligarchs, the billionaires and the tax havens, and that's what we should be doing. And to allow the Tory government to set us all to infighting amongst ourselves just takes our attention away from focusing on their failure to challenge the big money and the people who are really and truly ripping us off. And we need to just step back from it and realise that actually we're all on the same side, and we are the 99%. They want it to be dividing us down the middle so that we'll fight amongst ourselves, but in fact it's only 1% of people that we need to be fighting against, probably less than that. And in the meantime, actually there's enough to have the things that we need across our society, and still allow the top rate of tax to fall a little bit and let those people have a little bit more too. See you next week.